What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here for Week 8 NFL picks. This is the second try. Hopefully, second time's the charm here for Week 8 picks. I turned down the quality a little bit, so I might not be looking as crisp as usual, but hopefully it still looks good, and hopefully we can sustain this stream for week number 8. Gonna give you my picks, of course, like every week, versus the spread and straight up. Going through each and every game, giving you my thoughts, analysis, preview for each and every NFL game for week number 8 of the 2020 NFL season. And so far, we're halfway through a season, halfway through a weird season, but we're halfway through the season, and hopefully we can sustain it for another half into the playoffs, into the Super Bowl, and we can get some more NFL action because thus far, the NFL has been awesome this year, providing a lot of great entertainment. And, you know, I may cover the NFL, but of course, I'm still a fan. So I love watching it, and hopefully we can watch it for another 8+ weeks of great action. Week 8. Again, guys, you always ask me, which game am I streaming? That's one of the biggest questions you ask. I will be streaming the Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers. That game is at a perfect time slot. That game is at a time slot where there's not a lot of competition, and I feel like you guys will be watching that game, and I could provide, good analysis behind it, having watched those teams a lot this year, and I have a really good feel for those teams, and they genuinely interest me, so I'm going to cover that game. I know a lot of you guys might want me to cover the Steelers-Ravens game. I was thinking about it, but then I saw the entire schedule for the early games, and I was like, man, I want to watch this game, I want to watch this game, I want to watch that game. So if I only do one game, it strips away my attention from other games that I really do want to watch. Not that I can't watch them later, but you guys know it's not the same when you're just watching after the fact, when you already know the score, when you already know what happened. So I'm going to do the Seattle-San Francisco game. I think that game is actually going to be really, really good. We'll get into the reasons why when we cover it. But before we get into the picks, make sure you do Gronk spike the like button, especially if you were here before and you left a like and you haven't left a like. Make sure you do Gronk spike that like button because it helps the channel. It helps this video. It helps more people find my pick videos and then therefore my channel. So if you Gronk spike that like button, other people across YouTube will see the Bottom Line View pop up on their homepage, and then they can join the great Bottom Line View community. Also, subscribe to the channel for more NFL. Basically, daily content, weekly NFL live streams, weekly picks, and a lot more. Also, comment your questions. If it's a fantasy question, a pick question, a gambling question, an NFL-related question, let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know your opinion. Let me know your opinion this week. Who do you think is going to win this week? Who do you like this week to gamble on, to pick, to bet on? And then what do you think fantasy-wise? Who are your matchups that you're exploiting? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, so there we go, the intro. Let's get into the first game of the week, which is the Thursday night football game, NFC South Showdown. I think this is actually a really good game. But before we get into that, of course, I need to give you the updated picks record. So let's go to that picks record. Man, I think I'm killing it straight up. I don't know where I rank in terms of all the other people, at the networks and stuff. Maybe you guys could help me out on that. 78-28, I think that's pretty good. Okay? That's pretty good. I don't know. I don't want to brag, but that's decent. All right? Spread 60-44, that's also pretty good. It could be better. This is what I did. So before, you might have noticed that I had like a ties or a section where the line hit and it became even. I just made that a loss. I don't want to overcomplicate it. So like if it was even, if the number that Vegas gave you was the same, then I basically made it a loss because I don't want to confuse people. And then the best bets, 18, 14, and 2. I only went 2 and 3 last week, which was extremely disappointing. It could have went differently, definitely, but we're looking to get back on track. My teaser did hit, though, so if you're interested in that, get to the Patreon and subscribe for $3 a month. And you get more than just the best bets, a lot of other NFL content on there. On the Patreon, guys, I actually put out a couple interesting videos. I put out a mid-season quarterback rankings. So I put out like my rankings from number 32 to number 1 for every quarterback in the league. I talked in depth about your quarterback, what I think they're good at, what I think they're not so good at, and then I gave them a ranking. So if you're interested in that, that's also on the Patreon, as well as a discussion. I'm going position by position essentially and talking about like my thoughts on the position right now in the NFL in 2020, how teams are using them, how I see them being used in the future, where I think the position is heading. And I talked about recently the tight end position. I already talked about the quarterback position. The tight end position I just put out last night. So make sure you do check that out. It's on Patreon if you're intrigued in the nuances of the NFL right now by position. All right, so let's start off the picks. Thursday Night Football, week number 8. The Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are minus 2.5. I saw it initially started at, I believe, 3 points, but now it's at 2.5. When I look at both of these teams, I think they're fairly similar. The offenses are talented. They have really good groups of receivers, from the Panthers, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, to Atlanta Falcons, Calvin Ridley, and Julio Jones. And they can attack you through the air, but in somewhat different ways. Matt Ryan, Atlanta, they can hit you a little bit more down the field. Of course, they're going to have their short to intermediate game as well. Teddy Bridgewater, that is what he's been all about in Carolina. The run game for both teams has taken a little bit of a hit. I mean, Atlanta's has been quite inconsistent with Todd Gurley. Gurley just looks like he's really laboring out there. He's slow. He cannot get to the edge. I don't understand why Atlanta is continuing to run these zone stretch plays and concepts where Gurley can't outrun like any linebacker in the league right now. He's just getting run down consistently in the open field. If it's not between the tackles, he's not really making anything happen. And between the tackles, their offensive line isn't really that great. And then for Carolina, Mike Davis has been pretty solid. They're looking to get McCaffrey back, but that is going to be intriguing to see, okay, how fast, how quickly do they get CMC up to speed? Do they force him on the field to do something, to make something happen? Mike Davis is a really effective back who is a lot more well-rounded than I ever thought he was. He has a power style to him, but he also has pretty good hands out of the backfield. So he may be a really good complement to McCaffrey moving forward, or he could move on from the team in the offseason and go somewhere else. But the offenses are the main point of interest for me on this Thursday Night Football game. The defenses are not so hot. Now, Carolina's has been a lot better this year than Atlanta's. Atlanta's secondary has been pretty weak all season long. I will say, since the head coaching change, Quinn to Morris, it's been better. I think the effort's been better. I think the front seven of Atlanta has been feisty and competitive. Of course, I love Deion Jones. They have Grady Jarrett. They have Dante Fowler. It's not like they're without talent there in Atlanta. But the secondary, it's taken a lot of time for them to get up to speed, to get to handle the NFL. And then for Carolina, they do have some injuries up front, but they're very young on defense. The secondary is relatively unproven, but they got some studs there with Chin, especially at safety. And Derek Brown's looked decent. Yetur Gross-Matos has looked pretty good as a young player. So their young guys are playing well. Brian Burns has his moments as well. I would give the edge to defense, to Carolina. But there is this feeling ever since I looked at the game that I like the way Atlanta is playing right now. I think they actually somewhat are better than their record suggests they are. Like, when you look at their wins and their losses, they lost a heartbreaker to Chicago. They lost a super close game to Detroit that really required a miracle Matthew Stafford drive. They lost a heartbreaker onside kick fiasco to Dallas. So this is a team that, even without Julio, has been fairly competitive. And when they've had Julio, their offense has been off the charts successful. Carolina, I think they're a little worse than their record suggests, although I think they've been playing very well. And you got to give their coaching staff credit, especially offensively, for what they've been able to do. So this is a really close game. I would not be shocked if either team won the game. I am leaning towards taking Atlanta here, though, because I like how they've played recently. I think they're due for a victory here. And I'm going to take Matt Ryan, Julio, and Calvin Ridley to win a shootout-esque style game. I just don't see how the Panthers really match up with that passing offense that really Atlanta offers. And I feel bad because I know there's Panthers fans out there that watch this channel and they're like, oh, you never pick Carolina, Mitch, continue to sleep, all that stuff. And yeah, you could continue those comments. So in a way, I want to pick Carolina, but just my brain is telling me that Atlanta is going to win this game. I don't know why necessarily, outside of I feel Atlanta can outscore Carolina in a shootout, but I just think they're due, and I like the way they're playing. And I do feel like they're due for a victory. They should win a game eventually, right? And Atlanta's going to be one of those teams that's not going to make the playoffs for sure, but they're going to be a team down the stretch that I think is going to be a pain in the butt for a lot of teams. They might pull off a couple upsets within division or, in the NFC, where that's going to screw up a playoff scenario or a playoff seeding or something. Because Atlanta's going to be able to pull off an upset because they do have the talent to be able to do so. They're playing with more passion, more heart, and a little bit smarter on defense. I think that enables them to win this game. So I'm going to go with Atlanta to win this game. I feel bad because I want to pick Carolina. I have not picked them very much this year, but that's honestly what my pick is. That's what my pick is Atlanta. And I'm not going to sway to satisfy any fan base, satisfy any person, satisfy any subscriber because I want, because it would make them happy. No, I'm going to pick the game the way I see it, and I'm taking Atlanta to win the game. All right, so let's move to Sunday. Let's start off with a banger on Sunday. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. This is a banger. And honestly, I have not thought about who's going to win, really a lot. I will say I bet on this game already, but I will say that I bet on this game with Pittsburgh plus 5.5. So the number, as you can see, is already down to 3.5. And I believe it went all the way down to 3 in favor of Baltimore, but in favor swaying towards Pittsburgh because people are betting on the Steelers in this game to make it close and competitive. When I think about this game from a matchup perspective, it's very interesting. I think both of these teams match up incredibly well on one side of the ball, and that is the defensive side of the ball. I think when you look at the Baltimore Ravens defense, it is equipped to slow down and win the matchup versus Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers offense. What the Ravens love to do is they love to play man-to-man coverage, and they love to send chaotic, interesting blitzes. And Wink Martindale is extremely good at confusing quarterbacks, sending different overloads, and getting pressure on the quarterback. Now, Yannick Ngakoue was just traded from the Ravens. They just picked him up from Minnesota. So you have to wonder, does that make the Ravens a little bit more conservative from a blitz coverage perspective? Will this allow the Ravens to do less blitzing and a little bit more coverage-based defense? I think what they had in mind with Yannick Ngakoue was they know they're going to have to play the Chiefs if they want to go through the AFC. So they're understanding that we need to only rush 3 or 4 versus Mahomes, and we need another guy that can get there. Now, while that is intended to play the Chiefs, it will also help versus the rest of the league, because when you can have 4 rushers or 3 rushers that can get home to a quarterback, and then you can mix in creative blitzing schemes, then you become a very dangerous defense. I really love the Ravens defense. Everybody talks about Tampa Bay, as they should. Everybody talks about Pittsburgh, as they should. But the Ravens might be the best defense in the league. At least I think they're the best defense in this game. I think they're the best defense in the AFC because they have the best secondary combination with front personnel. So I think the Ravens are going to really get after Ben Roethlisberger, not necessarily force mistakes, but get off the field effectively. They have the cover guys to match up with Chase Claypool, to match up with Deontay Johnson, to match up with Juju. I think the guy that has the best ability to win is Deontay Johnson, because if the Ravens don't necessarily have one guy, it's a corner that's really shifty and quick. And I think Deontay Johnson could be a mismatch in this game, but they do have like a Humphrey to match up with a Claypool or a Peters to match up with a Juju. So they got the personnel there. And up front, the Steelers aren't great at running the ball. So they can get pressure after Big Ben in ideal passing situations. On the flip side, the Steelers have the front to be able to disrupt and win at the line of scrimmage, to be able to manhandle and hold Lamar Jackson and this rushing attack without necessarily having to fully commit a ton of people to doing so. The Steelers love to be chaotic up front, just like the Ravens, but they more so do it to create mismatches on their line so that they get one-on-ones with TJ Watt or a one-on-one with Cameron Hayward. And then eventually when they get those one-on-ones, they're just nearly unstoppable, right? So if they're sending enough people where they're sending 5 or 6 man blitzes where it's a one-on-one, you only have so much time to get rid of the football or to make a play. And they do the same thing in the run game. They send what's called run blitzes to be able to equal the guys at the line of scrimmage. So I think the Steelers, with their big guys in the middle, they can hold in the middle and really contain that edge and set the edge. And they have athletic enough guys. Now, the concern is without Devin Bush, does this allow Lamar in the running game to be a little bit more of a mismatch than you would think? Because without Bush, that speedy guy that can go fly sideline to sideline, is there now no guy that can really match Lamar's quickness and tackle him in the open field at the second level of Pittsburgh's defense? So that's a tad concerning, but I think they should be all right because they should be able to win a majority of the reps up front. And their secondary is not bad. It's not one of my favorites in the league, but it's pretty decent and good enough to match up with a mediocre to not so good, I would say maybe weak receiving core in Baltimore. And the Ravens have shown that they're not exactly great at passing the ball. So I think that this is going to be a super defensive game. I could see both teams under 20 or maybe low 20s in this game. I am going to say, I'm going to say this is tough. Like, I think the Ravens, but I don't really know. I know that it's going to be close. I know that it's going to be within 6 at least. Either way. The Steelers have looked like the better team this year. I'm really deciding right now. I want, honestly, I'm not going to lie, I'd prefer if the Steelers won the game. I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens. I'll take the Ravens by 3. So I'm going to take the points because I'm indecisive. I don't necessarily know if the Ravens are going to win. So I'll take the 3.5 here, even though I'd prefer it to be 5.5. But I'll take the 3.5 because I think it's going to be a field goal game regardless of the outcome. So I'll take the Ravens. They're at home. I really like their defense. And I do think, without Devin Bush, that does give me a little bit of a sense of maybe Lamar can get off a little bit. But so I'm going to take the Ravens. But, man, I really don't know. I really don't. So I'm going to take the Ravens to win, but I will take the 3.5. I think it will be that close to warrant taking the 3.5 points. All right, so the Indianapolis Colts at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are 3-3, 500, baby. They're back. And a lot of people are saying, could the Lions go on a run to get to the playoffs? I don't know. You heard it here first, but the Indianapolis Colts are a solid team. They're coming off a bye. They have a very good defense. Phillip Rivers has had his moments of Phillip Riverness, which both positively and negatively, right? The Detroit Lions are getting better week after week. I know nobody will want to give him credit, but Matt Patricia has been a lot better recently. His defense has played a lot better. And they're really good versus the run right now. Danny Shelton, Nick Williams. They picked up Everson Griffin. Their secondary's getting healthier. I haven't exactly checked the injury reports whether or not Justin Coleman, Desmond Trufant are suiting up, but they've been winning without those guys in the lineup. So their defense has been actually, I think, over the last 3 weeks, one of the better ones in the league statistically. The Colts have been one of the best defenses all year statistically. I didn't check whether or not Darius Leonard will suit up for this game, but I would assume coming off a bye that he's in the lineup and healthier. I'm leaning towards the Lions. The reason I'm leaning towards the Lions in this matchup, one, they're at home, so that doesn't hurt. Second, Matthew Stafford is much, much, much better than Phillip Rivers. If this game comes down to one drive to win the game, I am 100 out of 100 times taking Matthew Stafford over this Phillip Rivers. And that's probably what it's going to come down to. It's probably going to come down to the last drive of the game. Can the Lions get a field goal, or can the Colts get a field goal, or can the Colts go down and score a touchdown? Can the Lions score a touchdown? And 100 out of 100 times, I'm taking Matthew Stafford. Because not only just Matthew Stafford, but this Colts offense is not good, guys. It really isn't. They're good scheme-wise, okay, but who do they have? T.Y. Hilton is a shell of himself. The rest of their receiving core is highly suspect. The offensive line has played well, but not the way that we thought it would. Their run game is extremely underwhelming, and considering, they rank like bottom 5 in the run game this year, which is horrible. We thought they were going to be one of the best run games. And Rivers is prone to throwing picks and making bad decisions. So all of that put together with the way the Lions are playing, I still feel like they're being undervalued. I still feel like the Lions are being undervalued from a Vegas perspective, from a league-wide analysis perspective. I think they're a pretty good offense, like a top 12 offense, and they're like I'll be conservative and say like a top half defense. And Stafford's playing well. Kenny Golladay is playing well. TJ Hawkinson is playing well. Get more Swift involved. This is probably like a 24-20 kind of game either way. But I'm going to lean towards the side with the better quarterback that's currently playing the better football. And yes, the bye week scares me a little bit with Frank Reich because I do respect him as a coach. But I like the way that Patricia is coaching. So I'm going to go with the Lions here. Hopefully I didn't jinx them because last week I Did last week I on purposely not pick them, or did I do that? I don't remember what I did, but I think I picked the Lions. Either way, hopefully I didn't jinx them, but I'm going to take the Lions. I'll also take the Lions plus 2.5, of course. All right. So the next game is the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. I have the Packers winning this game. The Vikings are coming off of a bye, I do believe, but the Packers are coming off of an absolute shellacking of the Houston Texans, where they did a good job. I think the main story is not that Aaron Rodgers could hit up and hit open a Devontae Adams 20 yards wide open, but the storyline is not that Aaron Rodgers got back on track, because we all knew that was going to happen versus the horrendous Houston Texans defense. But the Packers defense played fairly well versus the Texans offense. So that's a good thing, right? That's something that, okay, after Tampa Bay, we weren't so sure how good this defense was, but they played a competent quarterback and opponent, and they did well. This week, they play the Vikings. The first game, they absolute manhandled them. I mean, it was a joke. The game was over in 2 quarters, maybe even 1. This is a game where the Packers are going to pass at will. Aaron Rodgers is going to have his way. They'll run the ball decently enough, opening up big shots down the field, and Devontae Adams is going to absolutely beast, all right? He's going to have another 150-yard game, maybe 1, maybe 2 touchdowns. On the flip side, the Vikings are just too vanilla on offense. Now, where they could be really good and where they could make this game competitive is if they can keep Rodgers on the sidelines and run the ball with Dalvin Cook, then they could have a chance to make this one good and a fun game to watch. But last time that did not happen. And whenever they get into a passing situation, they are undermanned. It's as simple as that. They're undermanned. Justin Jefferson is good. I think better than people realize. Adam Thielen is a beast. But Kirk Cousins has been as inconsistent as any passer, especially in the first half. Look at the first half totals of Kirk Cousins and then look at the second half totals. It's like a different player. So I'm going to take the Packers to win this game, and I will also take the Packers to cover. Could I see a scenario where this game is close? Certainly. Could I see a scenario where the Vikings pull off an upset? Very minuscule chance, but I will say that it could happen. These are division rivals, but I'm going to take the Packers to win this game. They've mostly had the number of the Vikings over the years, so I'm going to take them. The next game is the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills, all right? So everybody in the comments, there's a certain fella, I don't remember his name, sorry, but he said that I picked the Patriots because I'm biased and not because I think they will win. Well, to that fella who I know is going to be watching this game, and if I'm wrong about any pick, he will comment after I'm wrong, not before, to tell me that I was wrong. So that's 100% cool. But I do not make picks out of bias. I do not make picks because I want to be wrong. I don't make picks because they're my favorite teams. All right? I make picks because I want to be right. And if I'm wrong this week, I will never pick them again. But you heard it here. I'm picking the damn Patriots this week. Why? Because, okay, guys, I went over this on the bottom line. The Patriots need to play a certain style of football to win. And what we saw is that the 49ers were the perfect style to blow the effing doors off the Patriots, all right? So we now know this. We've learned, okay? So we've self-scouted ourselves, right? So the 49ers, what they do, Kyle Shanahan is a freaking genius, all right? So we'll get to that later. But he ran the ball in so many different fashions or forms that he outdueled Bill Belichick. That's very rare, okay? They ran the ball efficiently, effectively, and defensively, they were able to get a lead, which allowed their defense to play pass defense, which is not what New England wants to do. They want to run the ball. Okay, so what does New England want to do? New England wants to run the ball, and stop the pass. All right, what does Buffalo not do? All right, so Buffalo is crap versus the run. Crap, okay? Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran for like 7,000 yards. And then on the other side, they pass. They can't run. We've talked about this. They can't run versus the local high school team. So if they can't run versus them, I don't care if New England plays 10 DBs on the field. They still won't be able to run the ball. So when you consider both of those things, New England is set up as a bad matchup for Buffalo. And while I think Buffalo could win, I'm not going to say they have no chance, of course, because New England's not that good. But I'm saying that this is a different game. We got to flip the script, get over it. New England's not going to play as poorly as they did last week. The Bills played like crap last week. Nobody's talking about that. They played like shit, okay, versus the New York Jets. They didn't even cover the spread versus the Jets, which is the first time all season that has not happened. They did not score a touchdown versus the Jets. All right, so let's not act like the Bills are some superior and unreal team. Now, the Patriots will win because they'll stop the pass and they'll run the ball. That's my analysis on this game. The Bills can win this game if they can stop the run. If the Bills stop the run versus the Patriots, they will win this game. Write it down. You will be able to tell who wins the game in the first quarter. Okay, how does Cam look? How the Patriots running the ball? And then how does Allen look? Because I see a game, this is the game I see in my head, where the Patriots are controlling the clock, they're running the ball, they're hitting play actions occasionally, they're doing enough on offense to score enough points to win. On the defensive side of the ball, they're stifling Josh Allen. Allen makes one or two mistakes, and the Patriots capitalize. That's the game I see happening in this one. And by the way, Sean McDermott has never beat Bill Belichick. So I'm not just going to not say that hasn't been the case. So Buffalo, I'm taking New England. New England +4. If they lose, okay, you can quote this. You can take a video. You can screenshot, whatever you like to do. If New England loses, their season is over. All right, their season is over if they lose. And I will not pick them for at least 4 weeks. I don't care who they play. If they lose this game, I'm not picking them versus the Jets. I'll take an L. I don't care. I'm not picking them the week after that. I'm not picking them the week after that. Okay, so I'm putting this on the line because people say I'm biased towards the Patriots and I only pick New England, no matter the game. Okay? If New England loses this game, I will not pick them for a month. I don't care what the game is. I don't care. Their season's over. All right, so their backs are against the wall. They need to win the game. I don't think their season's over yet, but they got to win this game. All right, so that's what I'm saying. So you can write that down, screenshot it, record it, whatever you want. Do it. All right. Tennessee Titans at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Titans are -5 and a hay. Okay, so this went up to 6 for a little bit of time, a little minuscule part of time. I have the Titans winning. I have the Titans covering. Reason being, the Bengals, their defense is getting weaker and weaker as the moments go by. I mean, they just traded Carlos Dunlap. They really can't stop the run, and you expect them to stop Derrick Henry? Yeah, okay, thanks. Thanks for coming. See you later. The Bengals are terrible versus the run. They're terrible. So the Titans are going to be able to run the ball all day, hit big plays down the field. But I will say, the Bengals offense will keep this interesting because Joe Burrow is an absolute, utter baller, bro. This guy is a monster. He reminds me of Andrew Luck in his rookie year, how everything is on him. All right, drop back 60 times a game because he has to. You know, no offensive line, no run game to speak of. He's got decent receivers, but Joe Burrow is a baller, and this team has a franchise quarterback for a long time, all right? But the defense is trash. They're not bad versus the pass, but they can't stop the run, and that's the biggest reason the Titans are able to win this game and win this game fairly comfortably. I'm going to say the Titans win by 10, 30-20. Next game. Did I skip anything? No. Okay. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Cleveland Brownies. This game's really good. I think this game, honestly, is probably the most slept on game of the week. I'm going to say that much. Like, I think this game could be extremely good. Like, extremely entertaining, back and forth affair. I'm leaning towards the Raiders to win this game. Let's go through the factors. All right, so the Raiders have a better quarterback. The Raiders have a better coach. The Raiders have been a more competitive defense, although, their defense isn't great. The Raiders got more weapons now. No Odell. Okay, so who do you got? Who do you have that scares defenses? Who? Donovan Peoples-Jones? Jarvis Landry, a slot receiver? Who do you got? Austin Hooper? Who? I don't see anybody. Rashad Higgins? So now, defenses are just going to crowd the box. So the Raiders are going to crowd the box. And I'm not saying they're going to be effective at stopping the run. They probably will not. But I think the Raiders, they're a more consistent offense to me. Because Baker Mayfield, I don't care how he played versus the Bengals, is trash. So I'm going to take Derek Carr, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, Henry Ruggs, and the Raiders, their big offensive line, to handle Myles Garrett, win this game. I think people are underestimating the Raiders a little bit because they just played the Bucs. But realize that the Bucs are going to do that to just about every team in the league right now. So maybe they're a little underrated right now. But I think the Raiders are essentially a better version of the Browns. Honestly, they are. I think they are. So I don't care where the game is. Baker will make at least one mistake, and that will allow the Raiders to win this game. I'm going to say they win 31-23, and they get the leg up in the wild card race. The New York Jets at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are minus 19.5. Does that say 19.5? Wait, is this like the 2007 Patriots or something? Why is it 19.5? Man, that's nuts. Well, that makes you think what people think of the Jets. So to keep this short and sweet, I'm taking the Chiefs, and I am taking without hesitation the Chiefs to also cover the game. All right, next. The Los Angeles Rams at the Miami Dolphins. Los Angeles Rams minus 4. This game's extremely interesting to me on a number of levels. I think this is another super underrated game because you factor in a number of different things. So first, Tua, okay, debut. That's cool. All right. He's facing Aaron Donald in the first game. All right. That's not so cool for Tua. He's also facing Jalen Ramsey in his first game. All right. That's not so cool. But for the Rams, they have a lot of things that make you say, ooh, is this like a bad spot game? And I know that people make fun of me because I always say that any team playing in Miami is a bad spot. But think about it. Okay, so the Rams are coming off a short week. Miami has had a bye. The Rams are playing a quarterback they've never seen play in the NFL before. That's 3 things. All right, 4th thing, it's on the opposite side of the country. So every single thing that says this could be a bad spot, all right? Bye week. Travel. Quarterback that I don't know how good he is. And what was the other thing? I don't know. I forgot. Anyways, I am taking the Rams. Why am I taking the Rams? Because the Rams are the better team. If the Rams lose this game, they deserve to lose. All right, because they played poorly. Why I'm picking the Rams is because Sean McVay is a great coach. And I believe in their defense. It doesn't have a lot to do with their offense. I believe in their defense. Reason I believe in their defense is because I've seen it week in, week out, that they can win games with their defense, which has been very rare in the past for the Rams. And they're playing a rookie quarterback. Aaron Donald's going to beast this offensive line that is not very good. They have played very good versus the run, good versus the pass, and their special teams is awesome with maybe the best punter in the league. So the Rams can win a feisty, clog it up, muck it up game in Miami where maybe they come out a little sloppy, maybe it's a little slow, but I think their defense gets them through the day and they win the game. I'm going to take the Rams. I'll take the Rams to cover, but I'm not absolutely positive about that part, but I'll take the Rams. I could see Miami winning. I would not be shocked if Miami won, but I'll take the Rams. I just think McVay's too good of a coach. Now, on the side that makes it also interesting, Brian Flores was the defensive coordinator in Super Bowl 53. If you remember that game, you know what I'm talking about. All right. The LA Chargers at the Denver Broncos. Chargers. I don't understand why it's only 3. Why is this only 3? Does anyone know? Is there something happening with the Broncos that I don't know about? Are they getting John Elway back this week? Why is this only 3 points? So the Chargers, let's go through it. So the Chargers got the better coach, the better quarterback, the better offense, about the same defense. Is it snowing? Why is this only 3? This is like one of those that makes you wonder, but I'm taking the Chargers. Justin Herbert is a freaking beast. Guys, you guys got to recognize Justin Herbert is legit. All right? They'll pass the ball. Okay? Maybe the Broncos beating New England like swayed people's opinions, but guys, New England can't pass the ball if I played corner on the other team. So, the Chargers can, all right? Next. Saints at Bears. Saints are -4. This game's interesting to me because the Saints don't have, pretty much anyone at receiver. I read that Sanders is out. Callaway's hurt. Thomas is hurt. Traquan Smith is there. And Jared Cook. And, of course, the godly Alvin Kamara. But, I don't know. So thinking about this game, I initially was going to go with the Bears. But then I remembered a couple of things. This is the Bears. Their offense is garbage. Their offensive line. Okay, this is a resurgence of the Saints defense in this game. The Saints defensive line is good. Actually quite good. And the Saints defense is not going to let Nick Foles have time. And the Saints can stop the run. So Foles is going to be in bad positions versus a good defensive line. And you got Sean Payton on the other side. So, I don't care if Durkant was playing slot receiver for the Saints. They're going to have 18 different bubble screens that are going to get cheap yards. So, the Bears defense is good, but at a certain point, you need to be able to move the ball. And then I remembered that the Saints wrecked the Bears last year with Teddy Bridgewater. So, I'm going to take the Saints to win this game and the Saints to cover. But I'm going to take the 4. I'll take the 4 right now. I might change my opinion because I do think this will be a defensive game. So I'll take the 4, but I'm kind of skeptical about that. I could change my opinion. That's why you follow us on Instagram to get the official picks on Friday or Saturday. But I'm going to take the Saints right now. Just because what I saw on Monday, Payton's going to see what McVay did to them and copy a lot of the things that they did. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Foles, the Bears are poop on offense. So I'll take the Saints. Next, we have the stream of the week. San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are -3. Seattle is coming off their worst game of the season, losing in OT to the Arizona Cardinals, where Russell Wilson also played his worst game of the season. For the 49ers, they're coming off 2 wins. One versus the Rams on Sunday Night Football, where they got their shit back together, to be quite honest with you. And last week, where they absolutely ran over the New England Patriots. So this is a good time, a good timing for this game. Good timing for sure. I like the 49ers. Why do I like the 49ers? Their defense may not be as good as last year, but it's different. Their secondary is actually playing really well. So they have cover guys now. I think Sherman should be back for this game. I'm not exactly sure, but I think he should be. Emmanuel Mosley's playing well. Jason Verrett's playing well. They should get at least one of their safeties back this week. Maybe Quan Alexander is back. Fred Warner is playing unbelievably. Their defensive line is still quite good. Guys that you don't really know, like DJ Jones or Hyder, I believe his name is. Kerry Hyder, right? They're playing really well. Seattle, maybe they get Jamal Adams back this week. Carlos Dunlap can't be in the lineup, I don't think, this week. Maybe next week he can. So their defense, their pass rush is still absolutely dreadful. We saw that last week. They can't really defend anybody's offense. And now they're facing Kyle Shanahan. Did you watch Kyle Shanahan's offense last week? I think I could play quarterback in his offense. I've never seen such a good offense that the quarterback doesn't do anything. These bubble screens. So Debo is out. That's a loss. But Brandon Ayuk is a stud. Kittle is a stud. They don't have Mostert either. But they got dudes. All right? They got dudes on that side. I just think that Kyle's going to find 5,000 ways to shred this defense, control the clock, keep Russ off the field, score. Garoppolo's played his best games for Seattle, by the way. And then secondly, Seattle's offense, I think, is going to have a tougher time than people believe versus this defense. Now, I think they'll move the ball, they'll make plays, but Seattle, San Francisco's defense, I think, is underrated. So I'm going to take San Francisco. I think they're the more well-rounded team. I think they're the better schemed team. And I think they're playing better football right now. So I'm going to take San Francisco. Don't let the records fool you. Now, would I be shocked if Seattle won? No, because Russell Wilson, but I'll take San Fran. The next game is the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know what the spread is because I don't know if they know who the quarterback is yet. So it's kind of a big difference between Andy Dalton and some Mario brother, Danucci. I don't know. What's his name? So I'm taking the Eagles. I don't really care who the quarterback is. The Eagles are playing better right now, although quarterback's inconsistent. Defense is decent. I think the Eagles' pass rush will be a problem for either quarterback because the offensive line of the Cowboys is horrendous. Zeke is playing god-awful, and the defense is poop. So I think Peterson is going to find creative ways, move the ball. Wentz will be good enough. He's the best quarterback on the field. I'll take the Eagles to win this game, and I don't care what the spread is. I'll take the Eagles as well. I can't pick the Cowboys anymore. It's just embarrassing at this point. All right, the next game, Monday Night Football. Last game, I should say. Bucks -11. All right, I got this game at 10. -11. By the way, update on AB. Bruce Arians said he looks phenomenal. All right, phenomenal. I think it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal or fantastic. One of those F-sounding words. I know phenomenal has a PH, but it sounds like an F, okay? So Antonio Brown looks phenomenal. He's not playing in this game yet. He's playing next week. But the Bucks are just steamrolling teams right now. And I don't think their train's going to stop in New York for very long. I think they are going to just run them over. And I think it's going to be... Chris Godwin's out, so it's a Mike Evans, Scotty Miller, Gronk game. Gronk is back, guys. Gronk is back. He's legit. I have the Bucks winning big. I'm going to take them to win and to cover. Their defense is too good. Like, the Giants, how are they going to move the ball? They couldn't run versus Dirk Cannon Ultra on the defensive line. How are they going to run the ball versus the Bucks? So, and then Daniel Jones is going to be running for his life. It's just like, poor Daniel Jones. The only way the Bucks make this, like the Bucks would have to play like crap for the Giants to even cover the spread. So I'm going to take the Bucks. I think it's going to be like 33-13. I don't know, something like that. I think the Bucks win by a lot. Tom Brady's playing too well for me to pick against them right now. Chris Godwin or no Chris Godwin. I am excited for Week 9, though. Bucks Saints should be a really good game. And the debut of Mr. Antonio Big Chest Brown. So those are the picks for Week number 8. If you enjoyed, don't forget to Gronk, spike that like button. Support the channel. It helps the channel. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Guys, we're also on TikTok. I don't know if you heard or not, but we're on TikTok now, so we're getting big. Busboy is helping out with the TikTok. He's grinding, and I appreciate him. On the Bottom Line View Instagram, we have myself, Dracant, and Ultra providing you with some good quality content that's exclusive. I'm also going live a lot on Instagram. So if you want to get over there, yeah, you can. The Bottom Line View, at the Bottom Line View. Give it a follow. Give it a follow. And then we have the Discord, which is the community. That's the community. That's the heart and soul. So if you are a fan of the channel, fan of the community, you love these live chats, I would recommend the Discord. That's where all of the big BLVers are at, and we talk football, we talk fantasy, we talk basketball, soccer, other sports, UFC, we talk music, movies. Durkant talks about his weird TV show he's watching at the moment. All that stuff. So if you want to follow the Discord, I'm in there every day. I'm active in there, so don't just think it's, a bunch of subscribers. I'm in there all the time, so if you want to communicate with me, like, I'd prefer you if you DM me on Discord than like DMing me on Instagram. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. So if you want to join the Discord, I'd much prefer you to do that. So yeah, just throwing that out there. Anyways, Hope you guys enjoyed. Let's get to the comments and let's talk. So if you guys want to ask some questions or just talk football, then I'll be here for a little bit before I go. So Isaac said the Seahawks are not going further than the divisional round. Durkant said he's beating Mitch in fantasy this week. I don't know why Durkant insists on lying in the live chat, but I mean, yeah. That's it. I guess that's him. Ultra says he beat Mitch. That's true. That's facts, even though Ultra teams poop, but I don't know how he did it. You have the best pick record according to NFLPickWatch.com. Are you serious? Maybe I should make that a meme. I'll put that on the IG. That's dope. Juan says, can the Lions beat the Colts? Yes. If you want to hear my analysis, scroll to the beginning. Andrew said, Rashard Higgins or Scotty Miller? I'd go with Miller there for this week. Bedlow says, if we beat Baltimore this week, we'll probably go at least 14-2. Yeah, probably. If you're a Steelers fan, yeah. Singh says, Mitch, I have the Bengals beating the Titans. Holy crap, why? Rob says, buyers or sellers, Philadelphia Eagles. Buyers, because they can win their division. Ultra says, Durkant, I'm 4-3. Isaac says, Steelers versus Bucks in the Super Bowl would be dope. That would be probably the best, most well-rounded matchup. Durkant says, Mitch, the bingo is coming. Are you serious? You have a bingo card? Where's the bingo card? Do I have to mention something, like a player or something that I haven't mentioned? Yep, comparing your records to all the analytics. Nice. Rob says, buyers or sellers, Carolina Panthers. Sellers. Even though they don't have a lot to sell. Juan says, my Super Bowl prediction is 49ers over the Ravens. Thoughts? Oh, I don't know about that now. If you made that before the season, then I think that was a wise selection, but now I'm not so sure. Ultra says, did Mitch rant about Baker? I missed that prediction. No, not really. I said he's trash, but nothing more than that. Dilla says, do you think Adam Gase will be the first fired? No. I think everybody knows they're going to lose to the Chiefs. And I honestly think Adam Gase is not going to be fired till the end of the season. Why? Because they want to lose. So by having Adam Gase as their coach, it allows them to lose. Michael says, who will take the NFC least? I'm going to say the Eagles. Singh says, because I do not like Tannehill, that is why I have the Bengals winning. Interesting. Durkant's playing bottom line view bingo. Katie says, Mitch, I have the Kansas City Chiefs 38-3. Damn. That's a blowout. Jack says, Brady winning MVP. Ultra says, who gonna be on the BLV bingo? Save for the obvious. Well, Ultra's not going to be there. I'm definitely inviting Rob, Katie, Singh, possibly Durkant, Deshaun Drakeford. Who else? Miss Sharon's definitely getting an invite. Who else getting an invite? I don't know. Bethel could get an invite. What will it take for you to give up on the Lions? For them to start losing? Steven says, what if Jets make it a close game? I would be shocked. Singh says, Mitch, I have the Dolphins winning 14-10. Interesting. Cole says, my man. But do you think Gase is willing to be on the Jets even though he will be fired as soon as the season ends? Or do the owners tell Gase he has a safe spot for next year? I don't think you can say that, but I just think you want to be employed to prove yourself as much as possible if you're Adam Gase to get a potential next job. They're canceling again in the chat. Patriots have a good offensive line. That's not their problem. Juan has the Buccaneers over the Giants 30-0. My thoughts are that is accurate. Tampa says Cam Newton swap Baker Mayfield. No thanks. Isaac says, what I mean is, what does Gase win by staying with the Jets? I think it allows him to prove himself. Rob says, if the Pats lose on Sunday, does Stidham play? Probably not. Unless Cam plays awful. Singh says, Mitch, do you remember Rivers playing the Lions last year? No. Tampa says Cam Newton goes to Cleveland, Baker Mayfield goes to New England. Please, God, no. Michael Scott. Cole says, also got Pats bounce back game, win by 10. Nice. Carson says, what do you think is better this season, Brady or Rodgers? Or who do you think? Rodgers slightly. Durkant says, I'd pick the Pats to win if I had any faith in them scoring in the red zone. I hope they do. Are the Browns better without Odell? No. But they'll trade him after the season. Ultra says, Mitch, what would the Patriots record be with Tom Brady? What are they now? 2-4? I'll say 3-3. Steven says, who's the Bucs quarterback after Tom Brady? Cam Newton. Isaac says, what will the Jets first win, if any, this season? 0. None. I don't think they're going to win. Maybe I don't know. I was going to say the Dolphins, but no, I don't know. Dylan says, and a healthy Cam is not good, and I think that's happening to him. You know what I was wondering? This kind of went through my mind. Is it COVID? Because, like, he was really good before COVID. Is COVID having an effect on his play? Because I've heard that it can slow you down. Like, even past the normal point. So, I don't know. Maybe. Would you take Jimmy G? Yes and no. I think there's better guys that you could get, but he's not the absolute worst guy, so I would take him if we had, if we had to, I'd take him. Sure. He's a decent quarterback. Brian says, thoughts. I picked the Bears to lose last week because the Rams were embarrassed on prime time. Have a coach as well as talent. That is why I'm picking the Bears. Play calling is a different story. Okay. I don't know, man. Ultra says, is it the Cowboys year next year? Probably not. Rob says, it doesn't matter who the quarterback in New England when you don't have weapons. Thank you, Rob. What do we got? Bethel says, nah, it's because N'Keal Harry can't get open for his life dependent on it, not because Cam had COVID. Yeah, I agree with that somewhat. But yeah. If you listen to beat reporters in New England, they'll defend the team to the ends of the earth. So apparently N'Keal Harry does get open, which I've never seen, but okay. Ultra says, nah, Cam just had a couple good games and was returned to his inaccurate self. The hater of Cam is Ultra. Carson. What's up, Carson? By the way, shout out to everybody that was here earlier. Tampa says Dak Prescott after Tom Brady. I mean, I wish. Sure, I'll take him. Scropo says, who do you think will be wild cards? In what conference? Both? AFC, New England, Ravens, and that's not in order, by the way. Ooh, man. I don't think it's going to be the Colts, to be honest. I got the Titans winning the division. I want to say the Raiders. I'm going to say the Raiders. I still believe in New England. I still believe. Is Cousins a starting caliber player? Yeah. Pick record 75, 29, and 1. Damn. Beast. Rob says Steelers, Raiders, Browns are my AFC wildcards. I like it. Trek says if New England loses this week, do they trade Gilmore? I heard it's a possibility. I don't know, though. Bethel says New England should trade for Matt Ryan. Ultra would then be a Patriot fan, so I don't know if I want that. Kirk Cousins versus the Bears in primetime. What are you talking about? When does that happen? What do you believe the Colts should do at the trade deadline? If they could get a receiver, I would get a receiver. Outside of that, maybe a cornerback or a safety. Their roster's pretty good. It's mostly just their quarterback and their receivers that are not very good. So I would look for a receiver, if not safety or corner. Who are you taking in a suicide position? The Chiefs, if you can. If not the Chiefs, the Bucks, maybe. Who's another one? I don't know. Go Treat says, Mitch, are the 5-2 Bears the worst 5-2 team in the history of your opinion? I don't know, to be honest. I can't recall like all the 5-2 teams in the history of football. So like I really don't know. Are they a 5-2 team? I would say no, because I mean they won on a drop ball by DeAndre Swift. They came back versus Atlanta. So that's 2 games there that they probably should have lost. So are they actually a 5-2 team? Not really. Are they the worst 5-2 team ever though? Probably not. I've probably seen worse. Luca says, sup, man? Keep killing it. Hey, thanks, Luca. I appreciate you. You keep killing it as well. We'll have to do a video or something sometime. It'd be nice to catch up. Thanks for joining the live stream. Daniel says, Cam Newton did not live up to the hype. Guys, stop killing Cam Newton. I mean, Tom Brady looked just as bad last year. Maybe not just as bad, but bad. So, like, now everybody's sucking Brady's you-know-what. So, yeah. The offense stinks, guys. It's not just the quarterback. Like, this is a team sport. When you have no targets and, you know, just lackluster talent, the quarterback can only do so much. Like I said, this team is only built one way. They can run the ball. They can stop the pass. Other than that, they stink. Trex says, I would give any quarterback, Levi Wallace, DN Trent Murphy, and a second-round pick for Guy and Gilmore. I don't know why the Patriots would do that trade. But, I mean, you can try. You can ask Bill Belichick. Sean says, we going to beat the 49ers, Mitch. All right. Justin Herbert has exceeded expectations. I mean, it depends what your expectations were. I thought he was going to be a baller, just saying. But, yeah, he's exceeded even my expectations for his rookie year. But I did think he was going to be a good quarterback. So I know there are people that didn't think that. Singh says, Jets can only do on defense to stop the run. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe not even that. I don't know. They're terrible. Ultra says Cam ain't been the same since Mitch changed his Discord profile pic to Peyton Manning. No, I changed it to Cam before that. So actually, that's not the case. I got to change it to something else, though. Winris says, what are your thoughts on N'Keal Harry's performance so far, and do you think he can live up to expectation being a first-round pick? He's had bright spots, but he certainly does not look like he was drafted in the first round. And he lacks crucial skills to be an elite receiver. He threatens a DB with zero speed. He is not quick-footed, which means he's not a good route runner. He's not good with his releases. The only things he's really good at are jump balls and run after catch scenarios. Other than that, he's not good. He looks like he was a 4th or 5th round pick, not a 1st round pick. He looks like a monster, but it hasn't transferred to the field. There are so many receivers that they could have gotten that were so much better in that draft, and it's just disappointing. I mean, A.J. Brown, I saw a video of A.J. Brown. The guy is a Patriots fan, and they didn't pick him. They could have got DK Metcalf. They could have got Stebo Samuel. They could have got a number of guys, but they went with N'Keal. I have nothing against the guy. He seems like a great dude. But there is no way he's better than those guys. So, in comparison to the players that drafted after him, he's nowhere near as good as them. So, yeah, he's disappointed. There's no doubt. You can't mask it. Dylan says Herbert, Burrow, Tua, or Jordan Love for offensive rookie. Jordan Love? Huh? But I think, honestly, Burrow is the better player, but I think Herbert might win it. Okay, I'll make it Devontae Parker. Yes, Bethel. Have I been more impressed with Burrow or Herbert? Okay, I think Burrow has played better, but it's in circumstances that are more difficult. Herbert has been more impressive because I expected Burrow to be a stud, like right away. So in that way, like Herbert has impressed me more because I expected Burrow to be a stud. So like, yeah, looking at it that way. Do you think the Browns will make the playoffs? They got a chance, but I'm not 100% sold that they'll make it, no. Do you think the Steelers can match up with the Chiefs? Sort of. I wish they could run the ball better, and I wish they were faster in the secondary. I think that is the team that would give the Steelers the most issues in the AFC. But it would be a close game. Daniel says, Mitch, do you think Gilmore will be traded? It's like the third time it's been asked. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I hope not. Tampa says, how much better would the Titans be if they got Stephon Gilmore and Michael Thomas? They would be the best team in the league. All right. I think that's it. Thanks, guys, for joining. Week 8 NFL picks. If you enjoyed, Gronk, spike that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's Mitch. Check out Instagram. Check out the TikTok. Check out everything going down. Patreon. It's Mitch. See you. When are we going to see you? We have Stardom and Situm on, I don't know about tomorrow because I'm getting super busy with school, but definitely on Friday or Saturday. And Best Bets Friday on Patreon. And Sunday we have the stream, Seattle versus the 49ers. Peace, guys.